And so long story short, fast forward, how I got into the industry was I ended up investing in the company. And that was my first investment in media entertainment. And part of the deal was we were going to build a digital platform for Asian artists on YouTube. So this is like 2008, right?
Yeah.
And at this time, I literally had a dream where I saw Jin and FM and everyone had like their own show, but it was on YouTube. And so I was like, we're going to build this platform. This is like 88 Rising before 88 Rising. And it was called Asian Digital Venture Network. It's called ADVN.TV. And so I invested in that. And I also invested in the management company that was managing Far East and Jin. And part of the deal was they were going to produce my album.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm in the studio and Kev, I still remember Kev's like, A&R me. And he's like, I remember one night we're in the office in the studio and he's just like, yo, Jay, we've been listening to your music and, we love your heart. We love what you're doing, your faith, but like, your rap's like, okay, it's not great. And I'm just like, oh man, damn, right? He's like, and you're not like, you're not like Jay-Z, you're not like Eminem, you're not black, you're not white, he's like, we're not really sure what direction to go with you. And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And then Kev was like, yo, I got this crazy idea. And I was like, what? He's like, when you pray for us, it's really powerful, man, your voice and you talk and you pray. He's like, do you have any of your prayers or your sermons online? I was like, you mean like my sermons? Like, I was like, yeah, I got a ton on YouTube. He's like, take that beat your friend sent you, because a friend had sent me a beat that he believed God had given, this hip hop beat. And he was like, gave it to me the night before. He's like, play that, find one of your sermons on YouTube and just play it over the beat and just see what happens. And I was just like, all right. So I play this hip hop beat and it's just going. And then I play a sermon over the beat and it just lands in this crazy cadence. Like it sounds and feels like Eminem, but it's not. And then he goes, holy, he's like, Jason, this is crazy. I was like, what? He's like, yo, man, look, my hair's standing up. And I was like, what? He's like, you're like Eminem and Joel Osteen, like smashed into one, right? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? He's like, can you just like talk over the music? I was like, you mean like speak, like talk, like preach? He's like, yeah, just preach over the beat. I was like, of course I can. He was like, yo, can you just talk about anything? I was like, whatever you want me to. He's like, we're going to the studio tomorrow night. So we go into the studio, he loads the track, and then he's just like, just preach about love, preach about love, preach about love. And I was like, all right. So I lace 3 verses in one take.
Yeah.
And it's just preaching over the beat, right? So I'm not rapping, I'm preaching. It's like spoken word. It's like spoken word. And he freaks out. He's like, yo, this is so crazy. He's like, this sounds like Eminem. And he was like, you know what? We need to get someone to sing on the hook that'll make it pop and make it like radio friendly. And I was like, who are you gonna get? He's like, we got this one friend that sounds like Michael Jackson. He needs the money. He's really dope. I was like, what's his name? He goes, his name's Bruno Mars. And I go, who's Bruno Mars? He goes, check out his MySpace. So he goes MySpace. And we're like, damn, he sounds like Michael Jackson. I was like, how much? He's like, you like him? He's like, let me give him a call. So he calls up Bruno and he comes back to me. He's like, Jason, I got a sweet deal. I was like, what? He's like, Bruno he needs the money. It's almost Christmas. He needs to buy gifts and all that. So he's going to do 4 tracks for you for $1,500. He'll write it and he'll record it and sing it. And I was like, $1,500? I was like, done. So I literally write the check, Bruno Mars, $1,500 US. I still have the check stub, right? And over the next whatever week, he records me 4 tracks, right? And now I have my first single, which is called Love, of me preaching over 16 bars with Bruno Mars on the hook. I mean, literally John 3:16 with Bruno Mars, right? So
yeah,
we released the song, and it immediately gets like, seriously, like hundreds of thousands and millions of views. And then it hits like top 10 Amazon Christian singles chart, right? And I'm just like, what is going on, right? and it just takes off. And then of course, like months later, FM records like a G6, right? In the basement of the Cataracts. And then they sign an Interscope and Cherry Tree, and then boom, and 15 million records sold. And of course, Bruno Months later, gets signed to Atlantic, and his career goes out, well, obviously out of the stratosphere. And then we sent Jin on a one-way ticket to Hong Kong. Didn't even know if what would happen to him. Like, he was literally performing in front of drunk men in Malaysia just to make money.
Yeah.
And he had a one-way ticket, one Cantonese rap album called ABC, and it blew up. And as you know now, I always say Jin has 9 lives. He's like one of the biggest celebrities and rappers in China today. And he's just crushing it, right? And so that was the foray into the music industry.